Okay, so everybody, thanks for joining. Excuse me. And welcome to week 4 of our ongoing social media training. Today, we're really going to focus on Facebook as a platform for potentially prospecting and getting out there and making a lot of new connections. And how do you use soundboard content to do so? So remembering our kind of 5 pillars that we've been working through. Again, focusing on conversation today, both from a engagement perspective that you are going to be receiving engagement, but also how do you go out and start conversations? How do you go out and find audiences to engage with, new audiences? So to start with, the first thing that I want to bring up is a pretty major change that Facebook has gone through in the last couple of years. And I think I may have mentioned some of this last week, but I wanted to highlight this because I get a lot of folks asking about the valuable nature, whether or not it's valuable for them to start a business page at this point, and if they're kind of late to the game, or is it the right thing to do? Heather, all the other trainings are recorded and they are on the Healthy Living Soundboard Facebook page. You can visit them there, and they're pretty clearly marked weeks 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, check that out. Okay, so what you see before you is, 5 years ago, Facebook was this amazing platform where businesses could organically find new customers, both restaurants, little mom and pop restaurants, all the way up to Nike and the big brands. And Facebook clearly saw that businesses were gaining a huge amount of influence, power, and revenue from their presence on the platform, but Facebook really wasn't gaining anything. So they figured out how to monetize it. So you can see in February of 2013, they slashed organic reach. So that means, if you had 100,000 likes on the business page or a fan page before this happened, when you made a post, everybody saw it. Everybody who liked the page got the post served in their feed. But then they have slashed that, and it was pretty drastic the first time. But as of 4 years ago this month, they cut that down significantly, and this is when they introduced their ad platform. So they have slowly been whittling it down ever since, and this is still outdated, a year and a half ago, but it's down to under 1%. So you can see what has happened with this decline in reach. So that means now that if you do have a business page that has 10,000 likes and you create a post on it, then organically about 100 people would get that served in their feed, okay? And this, again, is of already your captured audience, people who have already liked your page. Now, we'll talk about this in a little bit more, but just throwing it out there, the Facebook model is now, of course, the personal side of it will always be free. But for you to get noticed as a business page owner, you have to pay up, which brings us to, and I'm going to pull the curtain back here a little bit, but this is a screenshot I took this morning of at the Healthy Living Soundboard page, the last couple of posts that we've made. So we have about 3,000, maybe 3,100 likes on the page as of this morning. So you can see what happens when we create a post, how many people it gets served to on any given day. Now, if you boost it, you can do so. You can choose to boost posts. Let me clarify that. A business page can choose to boost posts to get in front of more eyeballs. But the sad thing is, we've got 3,000 likes. I don't know, we paid $20 or $30 for this. And we still didn't even get to all of our inherent audience, you know, our 3,000 likes. So I wanted you all to, you know, to be aware of this, because you probably know, you know, with Juice Plus, you're not allowed to boost anything that contains product information or says Juice Plus. We at the Healthy Living Soundboard also follow that rule. We're not boosting anything that contains those names to honor the company policy. So you've got to decide, if you have a long-standing business page that you've been really continuing to work at through all these years, you've probably noticed the decline in reach. But you've got to figure out, is it worth your time and money to make posts that are general healthy living posts that you can, you know, boost under Juice Plus policy in order to get people back active, you know, with your business page. Now, if you have your business Facebook business page tied to a larger brand offering, and I got some clarity from an NMD on this yesterday, because I know that it is not appropriate for you all to sell product directly through the Facebook page. You know, it does have to go through your virtual office customer facing product offering page. But if you are one of these folks who has Juice Plus as a larger part of an offering that you've tied to a bigger brand that you've built, and you offer, you know, fitness advice, or you have some kind of fitness program that you've built, then you can pretty easily set up your Facebook business page for e-commerce. But if you haven't, and you're just thinking, you know, of course, you're a franchise owner, you are a business owner, it's time for me to either pay attention again to a neglected Facebook page, or to start one on my own, start one fresh. I highly recommend against it, just for the sake of the fact that it's not worth your time anymore, because again, of the way the platform has shifted. You can see that you're throwing a lot of time at something, and it's, if you start a business page at this point in Facebook's cycle with very few likes, and you're not willing to boost the posts, then it's just going to go nowhere. So don't waste your time, don't waste your money, but keep that in mind. Again, if you have that established page and you want to keep the reach going, you just figure out how much value you get from having people visit your business page. Because if you do have it set up well and it's connected to, you know, ways that people can purchase from you in a way that's in line with company policy, then by all means keep it going. But just, you know, putting that out there from a perspective that so many people have asked that question of me lately, and we just wanted to clarify on the business page aspect. So now we want to continue to think about audience. We also want to talk about, you know, how do we go out and prospect on the platform? How do we do this well? So I think the easiest way to do this, and to do it from a perspective that feels very natural, is to join Facebook groups and leverage these groups by topic. So you can go out and find these groups. Some of them you do have to ask to join. Some of them are open, but especially these big groups that have thousands of members, you'll get, you know, accepted into the group quite quickly. But then think about this group as basically a warm market, because you have all these people now who are interested in this topic, who have taken a step of joining this group so that they can go to this group and get more information about it. And so what you can do is you can join these groups, and then you can contribute to the conversation with Soundboard content. So if you're logged into the Soundboard, you know, you can pick, well, I just posted some images, but you can of course pick a good article. Here's a interesting one about foods high in vitamin B12. Thought this was a good one. So remember, you can share directly into a group. So we're going to hit share message, and we're going to hit this Facebook that says groups on it. So when we go to share, we can share directly into a group that we are a part of. So when you switch it to this, and we want to share into this group, then just type the name of a group that you are a part of. Okay, here's a healthy eating group that I joined last week. So you select that group. Notice that you don't get a drop down. You do have to start typing the name of the group. And we paste our suggested text. Again, you can add to it if you want. And then you post. And now what you are doing is adding to the conversation in that group. And this is where Facebook becomes a little bit more like Twitter, in that you can more easily get out there and rub elbows with people that you don't know. So when you look for your groups that you've joined, all right, we've got our friends. Let's see, we've got some food groups. Oh wait, we're under the Discover tab here. Sorry, we want to look at the groups we're a part of. So I just posted into Omi's healthy eating group. All right, and so of course it's got to go through approval since we've got an admin for this group, but I have pinned into this group before, and this person does it very quickly. But then, you know, again, you've got 11,300 people here who are interested just in this one group that you can start contributing to. Now, remember last week we talked about building affinity with other people on Facebook. Remember, just because you're friends with somebody does not mean you see everything that they do and they don't see everything that you do. You need to build affinity with that person. So you can begin to like, comment on other people's posts in these groups, because again, you have a very warm market here of people who are interested in the topic of, in this instance, healthy eating. Of course, there's 1,000,005 Juice Plus groups, but you don't need to speak into those groups because they already know what you're about. So go find, you know, the gluten-free groups, the vegan eating groups, the healthy eating after, you know, losing weight groups, the exercise after 50 groups, those kind of groups that are out there that you can easily participate in. And again, if you're like me, my Facebook friend network hasn't changed a whole lot in the last couple of years. You know, you get in, when you get in, your old classmates and co-workers, you know, they find you and your network grows really rapidly, really quickly, but then it kind of slows down. And so this is how you can leverage the platform, leverage the soundboard content to go out and rub elbows with all of these new potential leads. And again, this is just one group that has this many people in it. So when you start searching for, you know, and it doesn't just have to be healthy living stuff, but when you make a search for a topic and then come up here and look for groups, and you've got, maybe that's not the best example because these are fairly small groups, but it still works. I mean, 72 people, 55 people. Oh, there's one, 1,100 members. So, you know, just get out there and join as many of these as you want, and then you can keep track of, you know, which ones you're a member of by checking your groups tab. And then as you're doing this, like we talked about last week, you are building affinity not only with that group, but with some individuals. And they may not all respond to you, but as you start posting that content into the groups, then what these people do, you know, will start showing up in your feed, and you can request their friendship. Now that is, you know, again, thinking all organically through your personal page, because as a business page, you cannot post, you know, into a group like that. But when you want to think about, if you do have a business page, how do you, you know, leverage the network that you have? How do you continue to draw attention to it? I talked to an NMD yesterday who had a very interesting point. She said that she has a business page that she has not really done much with in a while, but she said that since she made it an open, a completely public page, it's called Juice Plus CrossFit Mommies. And she said she continues to get attention, likes, and people commenting on older posts because when people Google Juice Plus and CrossFit, that's one of the first things that comes up in people's Google search because it's so public, because she made the page public. So that's kind of the other idea of this is if you've got a public page and you've noticed that it's still gotten attention even if you haven't been doing things with it, if it's got a real specific name like that that's cross-referenced to several different interests, then Google can provide traffic to it. But what you can do is when you're on the page, through your business manager, we have a lot of pages with work, so it may not look exactly like this path. But you have insights that the page will provide for you. Okay, so you find those by simply visiting the page and going to insights. But I found a few that I wanted just to make you aware of. So what you're looking at here is once you create a post and it gets a little bit of traction, Facebook won't let you mass invite people, but you can see that of the people that liked a recent post that I made, only the person on the top here had actually already liked the page. All these other people like the post, but they have not yet liked the page. And so you can go down the list and invite them to like the page. And that's a nice little bit of a follow-up there to say, hey, I saw you engage with the page. Thanks for that, and asking them to get a little bit more involved with that. So to find how that happens, you check your insights, and then we want to go to posts here on the left side, and then look for a post that got some good attention. And when you bring this up, it'll tell you who all liked the post. And so again, there's no like one click, boom, 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 everybody invite, but you can invite all these people to like the page. And that way, that they are at least already interested in what you have to say about the post. Now you can hopefully get them on the page so that they have a chance of seeing more of your stuff. So that's one way to fairly easily grow your organic reach a little bit through a business page. The other thing to think about, and I did make a note here about boosting the post, but we've already covered that. So again, be careful if you do choose to monetarily boost posts with what you say so you don't get in trouble. The other thing that Facebook provides, and it's not as detailed as Twitter, and we'll get into that, the Twitter analytics piece in a week or two, but it does give you this snapshot of who has liked your page. And so this, coupled with, of course, the fact that the topics of the Healthy Living Soundboard page are healthy living and soundboard, I know that my audience is 25 to age 55, mostly women who are interested in healthy living and social media. Okay, so I can tailor posts to that demographic so that I can, best know who I'm speaking to. So I clearly need to be using language that resonates more with women, and skewing towards an older age bracket here that may be, making an assumption, but may be less comfortable with social media than this age bracket. So, now I know kind of how to direct things, what kind of language I need to be using, how I need to approach, the education piece of this. and how I need to be crafting posts. And that also, helps us figure out who to select when boosting posts, because you can target to specific demographics when you're ready to do that. So I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but I did want to bring it up again and just remind everybody, because this applies to business page posts as well as personal page posts. And this is how Facebook weights your efforts, okay? Meaning, how many people are they going to put it in front of? How many people are they going to put your stuff at the top of their feed? How often is your stuff going to show up again on people's feed? So this is their algorithm. This is how they balance the weight of things. So Facebook has said they want, in 5 years, everything on that platform to be a video, because videos stop you from scrolling because they catch your eye. So if you are putting out videos, either sharing embedded videos, or even better, making your own, that's why they've introduced Facebook Live. The same NMD I was talking to yesterday has started doing just 90-second, 2-minute Facebook Live videos, just encouraging her team. Health tip of the day. She does them sometimes when she's taking her walk, sometimes when she's picking her kids up from school and she's in the carpool line and just has a minute. But those are the kind of posts that Facebook wants people to see. And so more and more people in your network will be seeing that. And then, of course, photos followed by links. And ironically, even though Facebook asks you how you're feeling when you have a Facebook share status window up in front of you, that is the least likely thing to be seen. So when you're thinking about, your posts both on your personal page and on your business page, this is how things, go a little bit, quote unquote, viral. Nothing in our world would go as viral as something like a Beyonce post or something like that, but it still can happen. And, you can even see here the difference between, an average post getting to less than 200 people and something that got a good amount of engagement, which continues to put it back up in front of people's feeds. And so, we average 150, 200, but this one got, over 600 organically, just because of the fact that it picked up some steam because it did get some engagements on it. So again, once this starts to happen, it will happen more and more. And so again, how do you help that happen? Well, think back to our Facebook groups, building affinity with new people, going back and checking your friends' network, build affinity with people you haven't spoken to on Facebook in years. You might have accepted their friend request years ago. Well, just scroll back through and say, hey, I'd love to find out how that person's doing. I need to do it anyway. We were best friends in 3rd grade. And comment on something that they've done, comment on a photo or something recent. And that tells Facebook, you're interested again in what that person has to say. Your stuff starts showing up in their feed. Their stuff starts showing up on your feed. Okay, Dawn asks, when people like Healthy Living Soundboard posts, or we invite them to like the Healthy Living Soundboard page, will they be linked to your personal Juice Plus website? Okay, so from a performance perspective, Dawn and everybody else, the soundboard, when the soundboard tweets for you, oftentimes we do include a link back to your specific Juice Plus site. When you are using these links on Soundboard, these are actual links to articles on the web. So if you want to also include a link to your Juice Plus site on a specific article, we cannot do that automatically, because when you hit share article, Facebook can only handle one link at a time, right? But what you can do is you can drop in your Juice Plus site here if you want to, and Facebook will turn it into a live link once you hit post to Facebook. Okay, so it's not going to render a whole nother image and a whole nother active link like this one is, because we've already told it we want it to do that for the article. But this will turn, I'm going to do this, because this is, I'm actually not a Juice Plus rep. This is not going to go anywhere. But it will turn it into a live link that someone can click on that post. So that's how you kind of get around Facebook's limitation there, if you're interested in doing that. Okay, so again, here's how to find us. Next week, we're going to talk about Twitter engagement on the platform, leveraging Twitter analytics, using Twitter lists, how to know when you've been put on somebody else's list, which is, again, a great connection point to make on the platform. And I appreciate everybody joining us, and everybody have a great day. And if you liked it, feel free to hop on our Facebook page in an hour or two and grab the recording and share that with your friends who missed it. Okay. Thanks so much. Have a great day.